Hey everybody, Tony D. Little Jones asleep on the couch. This is the last video of the evening. Screenwriter's Rant on A Week Away, showing on Netflix. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books, etc., etc. Check out BitChute and Rumble, because who knows when I'll get kicked off of here, especially after criticizing A Week Away. A Week Away. It's about summer camp, and I think I would rather jump through a window and land on the broken glass than watch this movie. Now, that's just me. That's just my personal preferences. It's about a guy who gets talked into going to summer camp with his friend, and it's basically Summer Camp the musical. But it's also some kind of church camp, which makes it very wholesome, but also, to me, extremely boring. My favorite summer camp movie, and summer camp movies were big back in the 80s, was a classic movie called Meatballs, starring Bill Murray. And Bill Murray was the camp counselor, and as you can imagine, it was a hilarious movie. Now, in this one, the camp owner is the guy from Anchorman. I forget the actor's name. He's pretty funny. This is the main character who, there's something weird about his whole deal. It looks like his hair has been processed by the Hollywood studio. Doesn't it? Doesn't his hair look weird? It looks weird to me. It's either too perfect or like it's a wig. I don't know what's going on with his hair. And then this is his friend, and they look like they are having the most mildly amusing time at summer camp throughout this entire trailer. It's gosh, I can't think of his name. But he's funny. He can be very funny. But it doesn't look like a funny movie. Now, I don't think it's meant to be hilarious like Meatballs. This is more of a musical, because they stop and sing songs every 15 minutes or whatever. But the story just looks like a total snooze fest. And the one line that stuck with me in this is when the guy says to the girl, "It's been so long since I felt this way." They're in summer camp. They're teenagers. How long could that have been? Like, that's a grown-up sounding line. That's not what a kid would say. A kid would say, "I never felt this way." Not that it's been so long. That sounds like a 40-year-old woman wrote that line. So they have everything that Meatballs had in it. They have a rope pull and a contest, and it just looks boring as hell. Because like in Meatballs, everybody was trying to get sex from everybody else in the movie. the counselors were trying to have sex with each other. The various characters were trying to hook up. It was the early 80s, so it felt like kind of a normal movie. And in the 80s, there was always like a bad summer camp, or like the bad guys that the good guys had to beat, and they were a bunch of misfits, and the bad guys would always cheat, and that's what happens in Meatballs. And there's a kid that Bill Murray tries to help, who's sort of the main character, and he's a total wimp. But by the end of the movie, he kind of like finds himself a little bit thanks to Bill's help and some other people in the movie who help him. This kid already looks strikingly handsome when he walks through the door. He's already singing and dancing. He doesn't look like he needs help. He looks like he would have been the bad guy in the 80s movie. He would have been the guy who was like too slick. This kid, he could have been the main character, right? He's not so strong. He's a little wimpy, maybe needs a little help. This guy would like be the jock a-hole in the other summer camp that would be like, "Oh man, we're going to destroy you." And then this is the girl. So it just all looks very boring, and there's some singing and dancing. So I assume this is aimed at young girls. And there's nothing wrong with that either. But Meatballs is a classic. And I would watch that 100 times before I would watch this. And, there's a little drama. He runs away. I don't know. Something happens. It's not really all that important. They don't really mention it. It's drama. It's put in there to have this scene. That's why it's there. So first act, they go to summer camp. He doesn't want to be there, but then he sees a girl and he's smitten. And at first the girl doesn't like him, and then his friend says, "Oh, she's out of your league because her dad owns the summer camp." And they sing various songs about it. And then the second act, there's various activities, and they get to know one another, and there's some more songs about various things. And then they fall in love. But then there's this big drama in the third act, and there's another song, I assume, and then he comes back, and they have a big finale song where they all dance. Here they are singing. There's a lot of singing in this. So, and there's more singing. And smiling. See, like, in Meatballs, it was people getting high, and, like, getting beers and doing real summer camp stuff. This featuring the music from For King and Country, Amy Grant, Stephen Curtis Chapman, Michael W. Smith. And, it's a wholesome movie. A week away, I guess. I mean, certainly better than some of the other offerings that Netflix had recently, like Cuties. It looks very wholesome, but it also looks like it's not very challenging. And Meatballs was rough around the edges, but I don't know. I thought it was still kind of wholesome because ultimately all those characters, they all had a good heart. Like all the good guys in that, they had a good heart. Even the bad camp guys weren't really horrible people. Everybody in this movie just feels fake. They just feel like they're there to sing a song and discuss very mild challenges, and smile pleasantly and look nice. Everybody in Meatballs was rough around the edges, including Bill Murray himself. I think that was Bill Murray's first movie, and it felt like real people in Meatballs. This feels like I might as well be watching robots, good-looking robots running around singing and dancing. I imagine someday that'll be the case. They won't actually need to hire actors. They'll just build the robots or build them in CGI, and then they'll just do this movie over and over again. On whatever channel Netflix is or Disney or whatever. So a week away. I guess if you're like a 12-year-old girl, this would be a movie for you. Nice, wholesome movie you can let your kid watch, and nothing harmful is going to be in it, I assume. Other than that, I kind of don't know why you would watch the movie.